Hey, so you've been harboring a lot of sadness in your heart for a very, very, very long time. Now, this sadness that you feel in your heart has not happened recently. What I mean is, you've been going through this for a long time. This could be sadness in form of events, situation, people, um, places, memories, betrayals, hurt, etc., etc. But what has happened is that over time you've been through so much of this negative emotion, negative sadness, that it has piled up. It has piled up in your heart, and now you feel like you can't breathe because you feel this blockage in your heart. Literally, you feel like there's a blockage in your heart, and this blockage you feel is because of the piling up of sadness, all this unpleasant emotions, right? Your past has created this place in your heart where you feel like no matter what time of the year, what time of the month, what time of the day, I always end up feeling a sad feeling. You feel lonely, you feel heavy. um also, so I heard a song which is called um तुम इतना जो मुस्कुरा रहे हो, क्या गम है जिसको छुपा रहे हो. This is a Hindi song. If you do not know this, then I'm going to write this in the description so you can um look up the song and the translation, probably in English, okay? And I think you should hear this because this describes what you're feeling. So for a lot of you, right, what the song means exactly is, you've put on a smile on your face, a huge smile, but there's something, a form of sadness, some form of ache in your heart that you're hiding from everyone. You're putting on this facade, this mask to the society, to the people, that you're very strong, you are like a phoenix, that no matter how many times you fall, you will get up that many times, which is true. But at the same time, you also feel like a lot of people see this strong side of you without knowing that you have a very fragile, a very kind, a very soft heart. You're a very soft person, but maybe it's the personality that people see, maybe it's the way you carry yourself, because one of the things and one of the reasons you come across as so strong is because you don't like to show people that you're this fragile person, because you've been through so much in life. Now you don't feel like you need somebody's sympathy, somebody's attention, because no one is going to um clear it for you. You have to be the one. And now you've become so accustomed to this sadness, these heavy emotions, that you're just like, I know it doesn't matter, so I'm not going to show it out. And you're dealing with a lot of things. Also, I heard somebody say with tears that my heart has been burnt. I literally heard, and I saw somebody in tears because a lot of you feel so much betrayal. You feel like you've been taken for granted. I also heard somebody once again in tears with a lot of pain in their heart. This could literally be tears, or this could be your heart literally crying. You know what I mean? In pain, you're aching, your heart is aching in pain. Could be physical or could be emotional. It feels like you're asking that every time I made a choice to stand up for people, to show up for people, and what about me? When I need those people, where are they? Because you're not a fool, right? You chose to put your emotions and your time and your effort in a certain place, in a situation, into a person's life, because you wanted to add value to their life, but that's not what you got. And I also sense that you feel very lonely because of these kind of people around you, which you have encountered for a large part of your life. you encounter this kind of energy where there's a mismatch of energy always, where you are the giver and the one that receives always receives and you never get anything. So there's an imbalance of energy, and that's why it always makes you feel sad, lonely. You feel like a lesser being, you know what I mean? You feel like you're nothing. I'm literally seeing like solid ground right now. You might feel like you hit rock bottom, or you feel like people really treat you, I don't know what to say. Maybe people think of you as very low, but you're not. You're a very high value person. But what I mean is, some people like to take and they do not know what it is to give. And even when they receive, they don't even know to truly receive. And it's not your problem. Um, Also, I hear that you need to choose yourself each time. And another reason why this kind of pain and ache and sadness is happening and it's staying in your heart for a long time, it's because you have been choosing to give your energy to the wrong people, to the wrong situations. And when I say this, I don't say this in a cruel way, because I understand that we do not know, right? We do not know. People slowly, they show you who they are. They immediately, when you meet someone in the initial days, be it any kind of relationship, right? A friendship, a relationship, anyone you meet, they show you um the good side, the best side. So you don't know, by the time you're invested your energy, you've gone too far. And that's when you understand that you're feeding a wrong system or a wrong energy or a wrong person. But that kind of, gradually it piles up, these feelings of sadness, betrayal, it piles up and it makes your heart feel so heavy. I think for some of you, even your body feels heavy these days. You might even be feeling a little heavy. When I say heavy, maybe you have issues related to your health, which I don't want to specify because I don't want it to be true. But just in case you're suffering physically, what I want to say is it's because of your heart. Basically, it's because of what's happening in your head, because you have certain thoughts running in your head, and then you're feeling the same things in your heart. When you're stuck in loop, and the loop is sadness, negativity, betrayal, when you're playing that, it starts to affect your body, your organs, your system. It actually ruins you over time. So you know what I mean. Also, this is also true for me. So don't don't ever think that I'm someone sitting here and just telling you things. As I always say, I experience things, and that's why I choose to share them with you. And I think for some of you, you're so tired of this cycle, of this loop of sadness, of betrayal, of this sad energy where people don't understand you, people don't show up for you, people who take your energy and your love and your time for granted. You're so tired of this because these things have been going on for years now. You're feeling so heavy, literally, that you almost want to quit. I hear somebody say, I just want to quit. So I heard it's not time. It's not for you to quit. Your angels, they literally said, when you feel sadness, when you feel loneliness, they say, share it with us. We're always guiding you, we're always with you, and that you are never lonely. And they're asking if you doubt their love for you, right? You feel like, but what about the times I was in sadness? Somebody betrayed me, somebody played with my heart. You did not show up for you. They didn't show up for you. But the angels, they are saying, what about all the times that you didn't even ask for help, but we did show up for you? We did save you. I do not know why I almost see somebody being saved from like some accidents. This could be minor or major. It depends on your situation, but I always see somebody being saved. Also like a bicycle accidents. I don't know. They've saved you so many times before. They're really, really, really kind. They want the best for you, but once again, situations in life, I heard, is a journey and we must all walk through it. And it's difficult, it's never easy. So, your angels, they say, you know, that you're never alone, basically. Never think that you're alone. And they're also saying, spend time in solitude because um you have to spend time in solitude alone, to unwind, not to think about the past. Sometimes it happens that when we're alone, we start to spiral and think about the past, but they're urging you to spend some time in nature, observing nature, because when you're in nature, nature is so calming, it's so soothing, right? They don't judge you. They don't judge you. They don't judge you like the people around you, right? They're also saying that why they're asking you to be in solitude is because you're so accustomed to this noise in your daily life. This could be noises and literal noise from the traffic, from the things around you, also the voices of people that always put you down, people that speak negatively towards you, people who think you're of no value. What happens when you're there for such a long time? Their voice becomes one with yours. You know, you also start talking to yourself negatively just the way they do. So they're asking you to unwind, and be in solitude in nature. Even if you cannot be in nature, taking some time for yourself, I think it's going to help you. I think some of you are also going really, really, really fast. Um, this could be fast as in life. You want to get somewhere, or you're driving or riding. I don't know what it's that you're doing, but you're really fast. I think you should slow down, or you're going to like not crash. You're not going to crash. Don't worry, you're not going to crash. But you need to like slow down a little bit. Okay. So I also hear, I don't know, this is funny. I hear and see a lot of like cutlery noises. I do not know if is it a restaurant, is it the house, or some of you work somewhere, but there's a lot of cutlery sound, the spoons, the plates and whatnot, the utensils. I think there's that noise as well. Some of you need a break. Hmm. I hear you need to start taking accountability. You need to start choosing yourself, because you might think it's nothing, it has nothing to do with peace and happiness, but there is a lot. When you choose yourself, you will see that you are an individual, not what other voices want you to think of yourself. You must reduce the noise in order to hear your own voice. The noise is suppressing your voice. When I say the noise is suppressing your voice, imagine a little child in who's standing in the middle, and people are surrounding that little child, and people are just screaming at it. It's They're screaming at it. Can you imagine that? A little child in the middle and people screaming at it, and each person that is surrounding this child has different opinions, has different expectations, different perspectives. It's just they're just yelling at the child, and the child is so confused that in all this noise it cannot think for itself. It's not able to think for itself. It doesn't have a moment to breathe. It's not able to imagine, it's not able to think, it's not able to decide. and it starts to feel like, okay, something is wrong with me. If so many people are yelling at me in so many different voices, in different tones, in different, I don't know, um, the child starts to think that something is wrong with the child, that it's not doing things correctly, that it doesn't know how to deal with its own life or with its world. So, it starts to think that the voices are right and the child is wrong, but it's not true. Only if these noises, these people stepped away from the child, would the child have some peace and calm to think for itself, to choose for itself. Some of you are also frustrated with these kind of people around you who are always telling you to do things a certain way. Someone is very controlling, um, always telling you, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, wear this, wear that. Always trying to shape your life the way they want. I can sense some of you are really frustrated, um, almost angry. But I think it's good for you to calm down and um, quiet the noises so you can choose yourself. Also, I heard peace is in your heart. You will never find it outside. Stop looking in the wrong places. You're used to giving more than you receive, hence the imbalance and pain in your heart. Stop giving to the wrong people. So, this has been a problem, right? A lot of you might even be empaths or just kind people in general, compassionate people in general, who always think, okay, let me do this for this person. But the world is not so kind. You know this now. You know this now. The world is not so kind. People take easily, but they do not know how to give back. And I think you should really be, I think I said this even the last time. For you specifically, you need to be a little selfish with your energy, who you spend your time with, who you give your time to, who you choose to be around. I think everything matters. Just because you feel sad or lonely does not mean you need a bunch of stupid strangers around you. You just need one good person in your life, and that one person can change your life for the better, for the amazing, for the heavenly. Trust me. You don't need 10 stupid people around you who are just going to ruin you. Also, I heard you have to take care of yourself. This message was both for me and for you. And they say, take care of yourself. All the sadness in your heart is making you sick. You have a lot of frustration that's building in your heart because you're not able to speak up for yourself. As I said, your voice is suppressed among the other voices. So you need to choose your voice first. Otherwise, what's going to happen is all your emotions are going to get stuck in your heart, in your body, and it's going to start reflecting as sadness, sickness. Um, if anyone feels that their skin is suddenly becoming dull, it's also because of the fact that you feel more sadness than happiness. It's showing. Your skin will show, your face will show what you're feeling. Um, Also, I heard some of you smile really less. I can't complain because, it's the same thing with me. I heard that some of you have very, very, very kind heart. Even after all the suffering you've gone through, you have a very, very, very kind heart. And because of that heart, you choose to be kind to people. The picture I have, the what I saw was a beautiful flower whose petal got stuck in a barbed wire and it's like torn, it got torn apart, but still that flower chose to retain its beauty, its purity, and it still wants to do good for others, for the society. So I think that's you. Going through all the suffering has made you who you are, But I don't think that you need to keep suffering or you need to keep accepting people's nonsense all the way, because it's going to ruin you. And you know by now, I think you need to choose yourself. Choose yourself, choose yourself, choose your peace, your happiness, and your calm. And this is my request. If any one of you is feeling tightness in your chest, it could also be because of all the intense emotions you're feeling. I pray and I hope that all these unwanted blocks, just they just clear away for you, and you can be your best, beautiful, bright. I don't know, because since I saw the flower, I want to say fragrant. So I'm going to say it, maybe be your fragrant selves. Because when a flower is very fragrant, it's amazing perfume. It's magical. It travels really far in the air. So your energy, your good energy is like that. It can travel really far. God bless you all. I'm going to see you in the next one.